I'm Wolf Blitzer in the Situation Room. Up next, Lou Dobbs Tonight. Lou.
Well, thank you. Tonight, President-elect Obama prepares for a historic shift of power in Washington. His first staff appointment's imminent. We'll have complete coverage. And tonight, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi is already trying to shape the agenda of the upcoming administration. We'll tell you what one-party rule means for this country. And tonight, liberal special interest groups and lobbyists fighting to push Obama policies to the left. We'll examine those issues with some of the top political analysts in the country, and they'll tell us what we can expect. All of that, all the day's news, and much more from an independent perspective. Straight ahead here tonight.
This is Lou Dobbs Tonight. News, debate, and opinion for Wednesday, November 5th. Live from New York, Lou Dobbs.
Good evening, everybody. President-elect Obama tonight selecting a team of top advisors to help him tackle the tremendous challenges that face this nation. CNN has learned that Senator Obama has asked former Bill Clinton advisor, Congressman Rahm Emanuel, to be his White House chief of staff. Obama also working to fill key economic and national security positions as quickly as possible. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi today declared the election of Barack Obama is a clear message that Americans want change. Republicans say Pelosi is pushing a left-wing socialist agenda already. We have extensive coverage tonight, and we begin with Jessica Yellen, who is with the president-elect in Chicago.
It was a political victory, but also a night for history.
If there is anyone out there who still doubts that America is a place where all things are possible, who still wonders if the dream of our founders is alive in our time, who still questions the power of our democracy, tonight is your answer.
His first decision, chief of staff. Expected to take the job is Rahm Emanuel. He's a Chicago congressman, one-time investment banker, and former Clinton White House staffer known for his brash manner and political savvy. Obama insiders say he's an ideal pick because he knows Wall Street, the White House, and can help rein in congressional Democrats. With pressure on so many fronts, Iraq, the economy, international relations, Obama is expected to unveil his key cabinet choices earlier than in past administrations. Work is already well underway in choosing candidates for state, defense, and treasury. From supporters, high expectations for this man. In the crowd last night, a sense of urgency to bring change fast. He's asking for patience.
Our climb will be steep. We may not get there in 1 year or even in one term. But America, I have never been more hopeful than I am tonight that we will get there.
CNN has learned that Barack Obama is going to spend much of the next few weeks here in Chicago, but his transition team and staff are going to be hard at work in Washington, D.C. That city is already abuzz with talk of who his first picks will be. The names in circulation include members of the Senate, Wall Street Titans, and even some members of the former Clinton White House.
All right, Jessica, thank you very much. Jessica Yellen. In the congressional elections, there remain 4 Senate races still too close to call tonight. In Minnesota, Republican Senator Norm Coleman has declared victory in his re-election bid over Democrat and former comedian Al Franken. Franken is not conceding. He has demanded a recount. Fewer than 500 votes separate the two candidates. In Georgia, there will be a runoff election to be held on December 2nd. Between Republican Senator and incumbent Saxby Chambliss and Democrat Jim Martin. Right now, Senator Chambliss leads with 50% of the vote, but does not have enough of a vote to avoid a runoff. In Oregon, Republican Senator Gordon Smith and Democratic challenger Jeff Merkley are tied at 47% each. State officials are still counting mail-in ballots. Absentee ballots still being counted in Alaska, where Senator Ted Stevens, after being convicted, has a slim lead over Mark Begich. Stevens convicted on federal corruption charges, rejecting calls to resign by both his party leadership and Democratic Party leadership. The Senate may hold a vote on whether or not to expel Senator Stevens. The last time the Senate expelled a member, by the way, was back in 1962 when Senator Jesse Bright, 1862, faced charges of disloyalty during the Civil War. Tonight, the balance of power in the Senate is 56 seats for the Democrats, 40 seats for the Republicans. If the Democrats win these final 4 races, of course, they would reach their filibuster-proof majority of 60 seats. That is considered unlikely. In the House of Representatives, there are 8 races tonight that are still too close to call. The Democrats have 254 seats, the Republicans 173. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi today declaring voters have called loudly and clearly for a new direction for this country. The Speaker and Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid tonight appear determined to impose a liberal agenda on the president-elect and the American people. Lisa Sylvester has our report from Washington.
Day after the election, and Republicans have a political hangover. The White House changing hands and Democrats solidifying their hold on the House and Senate.
I woke up this morning feeling like Lincoln's young boy who stubbed his toe. Some of you know this story. It hurts too bad to laugh, and I'm too big to cry. I think some of you felt that way before.
The Democratic pickup of at least 5 more Senate seats and at least 20 House seats will make it harder for Republicans to use filibusters to stop legislation. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi says Democratic bills, some that were blocked by either a filibuster or a veto threat, will make a comeback. Some of those issues included extending unemployment insurance, expanding health care for children, stem cell research, immigration reform, and pulling troops out of Iraq.
Our increased numbers in the House better enable us to work closely with our new president for a vision for America and a plan to succeed, again, as we unify the American people.
But that doesn't mean that Pelosi and the Democrats will have free rein. First, there are moderate Democrats like Senators Ben Nelson of Nebraska and Blanche Lincoln of Arkansas, who don't always fall in line behind their party leaders.
I mean, these are senators who vote with their party maybe a little more than 50% of the time. And so it's going to be hard for the more liberal elements of the caucus to hijack the party.
And there's history. When President Bill Clinton took office, Democrats also controlled Capitol Hill, but Clinton's liberal agenda didn't get far off the ground.
And he pushed health care reform so hard that there was a little reaction to it, and he lost the House and the Senate for the next 6 years.
Democrats remember what happened, and so do Republicans. The takeaway lesson from that was if you want to hold on to the House and the Senate in the next election, govern not at the extremes, but somewhere in the middle. Lou?
A lesson that obviously eluded the Republicans fresh from their history lesson, courtesy of the Democrats. Thank you very much, Lisa Sylvester from Washington. Joining me now on this historic shift of power in Washington, 3 of the best political analysts, CNN contributors all, Republican strategist Ed Rollins, serving as White House political director under President Reagan, chairman of Mike Huckabee's presidential campaign, Pulitzer Prize-winning columnist, New York Daily News, Michael Goodwin, Democratic strategist, and national committeeman, Robert Zimmerman. Good to have you all with us. Let's begin appropriately, Robert, with you. We're seeing some new numbers sort of float out here saying maybe this was a little less than many people expected in the way of both turnout and margin for Senator Obama.
Well, actually, the fact that Senator Obama received 52% makes him the first Democrat since Jimmy Carter to 1976 to get over 50%. So that by itself is profoundly significant. Carter, I think, got 50.1.
Correct.
And while the margin itself may be comparable to 2004, which was pretty high, what really, I think, distinguishes last night and makes it significant, not just as a Democrat, but for the country, are the number of new voters who participated, roughly 11 to 12%.
This is not the time for you to shed your party affiliation.
No, I'm not shedding my... Boy, talk about a buzzkill on this panel, I'll tell you. No, but it's something all Americans can be proud in. The number of volunteers, the level of excitement.
No, I couldn't agree with you more. I think it's a terrific occasion, and it's congratulations to you, the Democratic Party, and of course to Senator Obama. Your thoughts, Michael?
Well, obviously, it is a historic and an amazing night for the country that I think does make the country look better in the eyes of the world. However, here at home, there's a lot of work to do, and some of the numbers from last night, I think, take some of the giddiness out of the air.
I have to tell you straightforwardly, watching Barack Obama, his beautiful family up on that stage, I'm thinking, you know, there are a couple of moments where he looked just a little pensive, more than celebratory, and I'm thinking, you know, this man should be able to enjoy this moment. I don't think he's going to be able to enjoy it very long because of the challenges, and I think, by the way, the man has aged over the course, particularly since the beginning of this year, and you know what faces him. He is going to be called upon to face immense hurdles and overcome them.
But you know, Lou, I think one of the things we saw last night on that speech last night, which I also thought was, in some ways, there was a kind of somber joy, if that's an appropriate way to put it. I thought it was a sort of beautifully staged, and I think the Obama people throughout this campaign have really been very good at creating the stagecraft, and I think that will help them going forward. I think they know how to do those things, and they showed it last night.
Stagecraft are not here. I think the man was being, you know, I'm a fairly skeptical journalist, independent populist, no dog in the hunt, all of that. But I got the feeling the man was being sincere when he said he's going to be president of all the people. Let's hope that
it has to be a humbling moment to recognize.
Historically, no president since Franklin Delano Roosevelt has ever inherited the mess that he has. He's fighting on two fronts. He's got an economic crisis that nobody knows the bottom line to. He's got a $10 trillion deficit in the budget, half a trillion dollars a year right today. There may be $1 trillion by the time he sees the real figures. What he does have, though, is he has a tremendous victory, which the country over time will feel good about him. Equally as important, the 56 million people who voted for McCain, they're not really McCain people per se. Many of them are people who voted against him, and so he can over time make people feel better about himself. The critical thing here is there's no longer a Republican Party. The Republican Party has been crushed. Those House numbers, I've been through this process 4 times when we got to that kind of number, Watergate, when Bush broke the tax pledge, what have you. The difference this time is 50 of those seats they won in the last 2 elections were drawn for Republicans to be safe seats. There's no place we can get them back.
All right. By the way, there are not a lot of people right now, I will tell you, I think worrying whether or not the Republican Party is crushed, because the Republican Party, in part, and I'm expressing my personal opinion here, only my opinion, the Republican Party is responsible for what has been a transgressions against the trust of governance. Sure. And I don't think that there's any empathy for the Republican Party per se, broadly speaking, for that very reason.
Nor is there any empathy for the partisanship we've witnessed over the past 8 years from both parties. And I think what defined Obama's campaign was the ability to reshape the map and reach out to new constituencies. And last night when he spoke about reaching out to Republicans and asking for their support and wanting to work with them, that was a very significant sign in terms of the potential for his administration.
And we're going to be right back with our panel, who will be with us throughout this broadcast. Also ahead, a showdown on Capitol Hill over a new proposed stimulus package that would cost taxpayers as much as $100 billion, perhaps $300. We'll have that report and some surprising results on ballot initiatives on gay marriage, an issue that many say is simply a distraction from more substantive and important challenges facing this nation. We'll have that report and we'll reveal some sort of surprising internal truths about those votes. You may be surprised at some of the opposition to gay marriage in this country. We'll be right back.
Buy a suit, get one for free at Joseph A. Bank. That's any suit in the store. Buy one and your second is free. All sport coats, buy one, get one free. Even cotton twill pants, buy one, get one for free. Plus, an extra bonus. Every Pima cotton sweater, $19. Right now, buy a suit and your second is free. Only at Joseph A. Bank.
Confidence. It comes from putting something in place, investing for tomorrow, while helping protect what I have today. One is playing offense, the other defense. In times like these, I'm glad I'm playing both.
one of the most admired companies, one of the world's most ethical companies, highest tier of service in financial services, The Hartford, trusted since 1810.
Larry King tonight. Barack Obama makes history. What's next for America's first black president? Larry King live. CNN tonight, 9 Eastern.
Accountability, AC 360. At 10 p.m., that's what we're all about. Anderson Cooper 360. CNN tonight, 10 Eastern.
Hi.
As you grow, your needs change. From school health programs to mammogram reminders, we're here for you every step of the way.
I wish that I knew what I know now.
Independence Blue Cross.
I like that he has a full head of hair.
She reminds me of my English teacher.
She has a really strong aura.
Hair is coiffed all the time.
I think he's hot.
Tune to Elections 08 on demand for all the information you need on interests, issues, facts, and candidates. Elections 08 on demand. Vote smart.
Press 890 on your digital remote or from your Channel 1 on-demand menu. Select News and World, then Elections 08.
DLU Lead breaks the news. All news CNN Saturday night, 10 Eastern.
Well, voters decided on more than 150 different ballot initiatives in 33 states yesterday. More new evidence that voters are, in fact, tired of waiting for elected officials to take action. Casey Wyan has our report tonight on some of the most surprising results.
By this ring.
California's Proposition 8, a ban on gay marriage that faced organized opposition by the state's political, media, and entertainment elite, is leading by about 5% in preliminary results after a record $73 million initiative battle.
I believe in the family and that children need a mom and a dad.
That view also prevalent in Florida and Arizona, which approved gay marriage bans, and Arkansas, which voted to prohibit adoptions by unmarried couples, both same-sex and opposite-sex. Voters rejected a measure to restrict abortions in South Dakota. A parental notification measure is leading in California, where votes are still being counted. And a Colorado initiative that would have outlawed abortion by defining a fertilized egg as a person was defeated.
This amendment takes an extreme position. It goes way too far. It threatens medical care, and it would create a legal nightmare in our state.
A Colorado measure to end affirmative action in the state is still too close to call. Voters approved Nebraska's affirmative action ban. Michigan became the 13th state to approve medical marijuana use. Massachusetts voted to decriminalize small quantities. Egg-laying hens, pregnant pigs, and veal calves on farms in California now have the right to more space. Arizona voters provided a reminder that pre-election polls and pundits can be stunningly wrong. Proposition 202 was named the Stop Illegal Hiring Act. Deceptively so, said opponents. It would have gutted an existing Arizona law penalizing employers of illegal aliens. A month ago, pollsters had 202 ahead by a 63-19 margin with 18% undecided. But on Election Day, it lost by 59-41%, even though business interests who supported the measure outspent opponents 20-1.
Anytime you upset the apple cart, you're going to have special interests come out of the woodwork to try to stop you.
In California, however, Proposition 6 was defeated. Among other things, it would have denied bail to illegal aliens charged with violent or gang-related felonies. Now, not every ballot initiative dealt with such serious issues, especially here in California. For example, a San Francisco city measure that would have named a sewage treatment plant after President Bush was soundly defeated. Apparently, voters were not swayed by the official ballot argument submitted by supporters. It was in haiku. Lou.
Well, and why not? And of course, the effort to legalize prostitution in San Francisco. I can't remember Mayor Gavin Newsom's position on that, but it also went down to defeat, as did a couple of other propositions there in Northern California. California is still a trendsetter. And Casey, as always, thank you very much. Well, joining me now, Ed Rollins, Michael Goodwin, and Robert Zimmerman again. Gentlemen, let's turn to the issue of Rahm Emanuel chief of staff for Barack Obama. That offer extended to Congressman Emanuel accepting. Your thoughts, Robert?
Look, he's proven to be a brilliant strategist. He's got great credibility on the Hill, which is absolutely essential for a chief of staff. And he also has the ability to strategize and also know when to say no. So I think it'll be a very effective choice if that's, in fact, who President Obama chooses to choose. President-elect Obama selects.
Absolutely. We're getting used to that president-elect.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. Well, look, Rahm Emanuel is known as a tough guy and doesn't, in fact, may enjoy saying no. So he may be the bad cop to Obama's good cop mentality and easygoing manner. So we'll see if that's the role that he's chosen to play.
He's been in the White House, which is very important. He was a policy guy for Clinton. He's a tremendous fundraiser. He trained under Tony Coelho, the legendary congressional leader from California. He knows his politics, and the most important thing, he's a very, very close ally of the president-elect, and that's what's really important.
As they say, he will have the president's back. All right. Thank you very much. We'll be back with our panel. More analysis ahead. And Governor Palin, she's on her way back to Alaska. Will she stay there for long? We'll be examining those prospects. And our struggling middle class may finally receive some help from the federal government if Congress can deliver on a promise. That's always a very big if. We'll have that story, a great deal more. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Let me tell you about a very important phone call I made. When I got my Medicare card, I realized I needed an AARP Medicare Supplement insurance card too.
One simple call gave me the chance to talk with a personal health insurance advisor
Who answered all my questions about Medicare supplement plans, so I could understand it all. After I called, I was able to choose the plan that was right for me.
If you're already on or eligible for Medicare, call now to find out how an AARP Medicare Supplement Insurance Plan, insured by United Healthcare Insurance Company, helps you pay some of the 20% of your medical expenses not covered by Medicare Part B. That can save you from paying thousands of dollars out of your own pocket. These are the only Medicare Supplement Insurance Plans exclusively endorsed by AARP, a name you trust. When you call now, we'll send you this free information kit with all you need to enroll, so you can join the millions of people who've already trusted us for their Medicare supplement insurance. Plus, we'll send you this free guide to understanding Medicare.
The prices are competitive. I can keep my own doctor and choose my own hospital.
and I don't need a referral to see a specialist.
Call now to get the free information kit. Plus, we'll include this free Medicare guide. And the advantages don't end there. You can choose from a wide range of plans that are all competitively priced, so you can find a plan that best fits your needs and budget. There are virtually no claim forms to fill out. And best of all, they're the only Medicare supplement plans endorsed by AARP.
When they told me these plans were endorsed by AARP,
I had only one thing to say. Sign me up.
Call now, 1-800-495-9137, and let us help you choose the right plan. So call now, 1-800-495-9137, and find out about an AARP Medicare Supplement Insurance Plan. A personal health insurance advisor is waiting for your call.
Oh, I must be careful. Oh, that's a nice picture.
Come on, Anna.
Okay.
Foreclosure doesn't affect just you. It affects your whole family, too. If you've fallen behind on your mortgage, we can help. Call 1-888-995-HOPE, because nothing is worse than doing nothing.
Well, investors apparently anxious about how President-elect Obama will be dealing with our economic crisis and concerns about new job cuts. All of that combining to send stocks plummeting today. The Dow Jones Industrials down 486 points, closing at 9,139. The Nasdaq index down almost 100 points. The S&P 500 lost 53 points, closing 952. The government already has spent hundreds of billions of dollars bailing out Wall Street. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and the Democratic-led Congress are now pushing for a second economic stimulus package. The package aimed at helping state and local agencies, they say. And as Luis Schiavone now reports, the Democrats want that plan passed before the new president takes office.
Democrats will have a stronger majority next year, but House Speaker Nancy Pelosi says this Congress has more work to do, principally a second economic stimulus bill.
I'm in communication with the White House about such a stimulus package to grow our economy by creating jobs, to do it in a newer, greener way.
A spokesman for Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid tells CNN that Senate Democrats are on board with the Speaker for a second stimulus package that would extend unemployment insurance, increase food stamp funding, expand funds for the low-income home heating assistance program, and help strapped Americans in peril of losing their homes. Late last week, the next president went on record with CNN in support of a second stimulus bill.
I think we are going to need a second stimulus. One of my commitments is to make sure that that stimulus includes a tax cut for 95% of working Americans.
But the question is, will the current president support a Democratic bill? A White House spokesman tells CNN, quote, "We haven't seen a stimulus package from the Democrats, and it's not at all clear that they have a plan," end quote. House Republican leader John Boehner told us that the GOP is eager to respond to economic troubles with a meaningful approach, but, quote, not hundreds of billions in new government spending masquerading as economic stimulus, end quote. The Republican leader wants any stimulus to include tax incentives, such as more money for child tax credits and a capital gains tax reduction to allow Americans to rebuild their 401k retirement funds. It all adds up, says this former Bush administration economist.
Senator Obama, President-elect Obama, now has a very long list of expensive programs he wants to put through. I think he's going to find that the size of the deficit and the weakness in the economy are going to be very limiting.
Well, the expectation is that the 110th Congress will return for a lame duck session in a little less than 2 weeks, when new members show up for orientation and both parties select leaders. But it's not clear that members will be able to accomplish much more than that. Lou?
Thank you very much, Louise. Louise Schiavone. Well, millions of first-time voters going to the polls, and an extraordinary number of them voting for Barack Obama, of course, about 70% of those first-time voters. And that includes naturalized citizens who have the privilege of voting for the first time. 8-time NBA All-Star Dikembe Mutombo yesterday voted for the first time in his life. Mutombo became a naturalized American citizen in 2006. He was born in the war-torn Democratic Republic of the Congo, formerly Zaire. Mutombo played basketball for Georgetown University, of course, and in the NBA, most recently for the Houston Rockets. Deke, as his teammates call him, talked to us about how it felt to vote for a presidential candidate, a candidate with whom he shares African roots, and his experience voting for the very first time as an American in this historic election.
I came to this country for almost 22 years ago, and went to school here, and after playing the game almost for 18 years. And I'm feeling very good that I went to the booth to vote, and he was very happy for the fact that I'm the first to vote in my family, in the Mutombo family, so we're so happy. It's like we're opening the door. Being from Congo when I was growing up under Mobutu regimes, there was no chance or no opportunity for nobody to ever to hold an election or to participate in any sort of the election. I'll tell you the truth. This is the first time I ever voted in my life. You know, it never been a chance been given to me in my lifetime. Senator Obama, his father was from Africa. The son of another immigrant get a chance and an opportunity to be appointed by the American people and being elected. This is amazing.
If there is anyone out there who still doubts that America is a place where all things are possible,
I would say to my children that don't think because daddy came from Kinshasa, Congo, that you cannot one day becoming the president of the United States of America or becoming a senator. I'm so happy. I'm glad to be an American.
Mutombo said he was in line for 2.5 hours to cast his first ballot. He hopes to return to the court this season and finish his career with the Houston Rockets before retiring from the NBA. Quite a day for millions of Americans. Up next, liberal special interest groups and lobbyists, they'll have a powerful influence, they say, on this new Obama administration. We'll see about that. We'll tell you what that could mean for Obama's legislative agenda and for the leadership of Congress. New details tonight of how different groups of voters cast their ballots in this election. We'll have all of the latest exit poll data and a great deal more coming up next. Stay with us.
Last year, more than 200 million people in the U.S. found economic solutions right around the corner.
And that's why I come to Walmart. Save money, live better, Walmart.
The Hyundai Santa Fe has impressive features, like room for 7, available all-wheel drive, and America's best warranty. But the most impressive feature of all, 24 miles per gallon. After all, what good is a crossover utility vehicle if you can't afford to drive it?
Get 0% financing for up to 36 months and up to $3,000 bonus cash on a 2008 Hyundai Santa Fe.
Activon for joint pain, muscle pain, arthritis, and backache. Activon, ultra-strength pain relief and a convenient applicator, no messy creams or gels. Activon, applied directly where it hurts for joint pain, muscle pain, arthritis, and backache. Activon, powerful pain relief.
Our economic plan? Simple. We save you money so that you and your family can live better.
That's why I come to Walmart. Save money, live better, Walmart.
900 died. A few survived. Soledad O'Brien with the untold stories. Escape from Jonestown. CNN Thursday, November 13th.
If you're drama, passion, excitement, you're going to love the Arts in Philadelphia.
Get in the holiday spirit with one of Peter Nero and the Philly Pops' premier concerts, Holiday Pops, December 5th through 20th at the Kimmel Center, featuring the charming Von Trapp children. The Opera Company of Philadelphia produces Rossini's effervescent comedy, The Italian Girl in Algiers, November 14th through 23rd. Call for tickets or visit operaphila.org.
You're going to love the arts in Philadelphia.
Watch some football? With the Comcast Sports Entertainment Package, you'll get access to key late-season NFL matchups available in HD on NFL Network, like the Broncos at the Browns Thursday night. And we've got NFL Network On Demand with recaps of every game every week. Plus, with the Comcast Sports Entertainment Package, you'll get NBA TV, the NHL Network, and 500 college basketball games on Fox College Sports. Don't wait till game day. Call 1-800-COMCAST or log on to upgrade today.
Barack Obama's big win. Larry King Live. CNN Tonight, 9 Eastern. This is Lou Dobbs Tonight. News, debate, and opinion. Here again, Mr. Independent, Lou Dobbs.
Well, the economic crisis, record turnout among African Americans, new voters, all part of last night's historic win for President-elect Obama. Bill Schneider joins me now and has the breakdown of last night's historic vote. Bill, how did race and age factor into the election?
Well, we have it all right here in our magic board. These blue groups are the ones that voted for Obama, from the most pro-Obama, with African Americans right at the top, to the ones most closely divided, and the red groups voted for John McCain. Most for Obama, African American voters. Look at that, almost unanimous, 95% for Obama. But his vote, interestingly, cut across a lot of racial categories. There was a debate, would Latino voters support an African-American candidate? 2/3 of them did. In fact, McCain did almost 10 points worse among Latinos than George Bush did 4 years ago. Whites are an interesting category. White voters did not vote for Obama. They voted for McCain. Obama got 43% of the white vote. But that is better than most previous Democrats have done. Better than Al Gore a little bit. Better than John Kerry, better than Mondale, better than Dukakis, about as well as Bill Clinton did in 1996. No evidence that white voters voted against Barack Obama in extraordinary numbers. You also asked about age. Well, let's start with new voters, people who are voting for the first time. You talked to them before heavily. Over 2/3 of new voters, first-time voters, voted for Barack Obama. Age. This was the new America. The Obama coalition calls itself the new America. Young people were its key constituency. Voters under 30 voted 2/3 for Barack Obama. Seniors were the one age group, 65 and older, that voted for John McCain. This is the old America. Lou?
And what about the economy, the the so-called Bush legacy, Bill?
Okay, let's take a look at that. We have those who disapproved of President Bush. That was 71%. Amazing. 71% of the voters disapproved of Bush, and in the country as a whole, they voted 2/3 for Barack Obama. McCain did manage to squeeze out about 31% of those voters, which was an achievement by presenting himself as an anti-Bush critic, but Obama clearly dominated that category. Now, the top issue as far as the voters were concerned, clearly the economy, 63% picked it. Iraq, that was the issue that dominated the 06 midterm, not this election. Terrorism, that was the issue that dominated the 04 election, not this election, Lou. Right. This was all about the economy.
Thank you very much, Bill. Bill Snyder is going to join us here. We're going to continue this discussion. Joining me now, CNN contributor, New York Daily News columnist Errol Lewis, CNN contributor, Democratic strategist Hank Sheinkoff, and from the Wall Street Journal, John Fund. Great to have you all here. To what degree can Senator Obama, Errol, credit the high turnout for his election?
Oh, I don't think he could have pulled it off without that. If you look at some of the squeakers in the places where he expanded the map, in North Carolina, even in Virginia, he's really depending on high turnout. When you look at the county maps, there's just a handful of places in many of these states where he's getting really a high turnout. That's absolutely the story in Indiana. Without high turnout in Indianapolis and in Gary, he would lose that state. So this has really been all about mobilizing and energizing a select base of people. And that was the story of how he won these unusual states, unusual for Democrats.
The great untold story of this election is Barack Obama's background as a community organizer, which he was very good at, really served him well here. This is the first candidate I've ever seen who was as good a campaign manager as he was a candidate.
Yeah, now I guess he's moved from community organizer to nation organizer. Is that a fair statement?
That's exactly right.
Bill Snyder, to what degree do you think these folks who signed up in such large numbers as first-time voters will stay involved in the process? I mean, the turnout was amazing. First that they registered in those numbers and then actually showed up at the polls.
They did show up at the polls, and they gave money. Look at all the money he collected in small amounts from these contributors. We've had this debate before, but I really think this was a political movement like the Ronald Reagan movement in 1980. This was not just a campaign. A campaign is something you support. A movement is something you believe in and belong to. They feel as if they belong to that, just like the conservative movement.
I owe you an apology because months and months ago, you referred to the campaign during one of our discussions on this broadcast as a movement. And I absolutely poo-pooed that idea. Yes. I said, it's a campaign, Bill. And you said, no, it's a movement. Well, Mr. Snyder, you were right. It was a movement.
And the evidence is movements are the kinds of things that can raise incredible amounts of money in small donations. Reagan did that, and Obama did that.
Hank, this is a new, has a new feel to it. It's a new coalition. What do you expect from it?
Higher participation levels, higher participation at local levels in the next round of midterm elections, number one. Number two, continuation of the use of small donor fundraising bases to organize around, and a continued social movement kind of context. And what does that mean? It means as the people who participated get older, they're going to be less social movement conscious and more involved in more tangible, hard kinds of politics.
And we've got right now 4 Senate races out that are razor thin, and particularly in the case of the comedian Al Franken and Republican incumbent Senator Norm Coleman. I mean, this looks like it's going to be the difference between whether there is a real filibuster-proof Senate or not. Your thoughts?
Well, I don't think that the absolute number of 60 is the one to watch necessarily. There are a lot of moderate Republicans out there. There are people that Obama can make deals with, make appeals to. Same with Harry Reid. I don't know that they need every last vote in order to block filibusters. If they can allow and create a context for some of these moderates to be true to themselves and to find common ground on select issues, I think they'll be just fine with 56, 57.
But remember, there are Democratic moderates, Ben Nelson of Nebraska, Mark Pryor of Arkansas, Mary Landrieu of Louisiana, who only got 52% last night.
Well, you said only 52%. My guess is Senator Landrieu says she got a whopping.
Well, that's a landslide given her previous outings.
Absolutely.
Yes, that's true.
And also because she was supposed to be under threat, she pulled off a remarkable turnaround there, didn't she?
when you have this kind of dominance by one party, Lou, what generally tends to happen is there are caucuses that get created, there's splinter organizations. It's going to be very hard for the leadership to keep control of this, and it's going to be very hard for this president not to at some point not confront the Congress, but move away from them to get things done.
Well, that really is the issue, as we're discussing everything from the first appointment by this new president-elect, that is Rahm Emanuel to be his chief of staff, to all of the speculation about his cabinet, the analysis of where all of his support came from. We're really talking about, will this be a president who, as he was charged in the campaign and the rhetorical flourishes from the McCain campaign, be a socialist, a wealth, what was the expression?
Distribution.
A wealth distribution. Well, I was trying to think of what Governor Palin referred to him, the wealth spreader. You know, or will he be a moderate, either perforce his own desires or circumstances? Bill?
I think there's evidence in both directions. You can't really tell. He has pragmatic instincts, but once in a while he comes out with some ideas that sound pretty liberal, pretty left-wing. We really can't make a confident prediction.
There's a third choice. Barack Obama is one tough customer. He comes out of part of the Daley machine. His strategist was David Axelrod, Daley's strategist. Rahm Emanuel comes out of a very rough and tumble political background. He was an enforcer for Tony Coelho, the great fundraiser, shakedown artist of the Democratic Party. I think Barack Obama is going to be a great politician in the office, and he is going to be one tough guy.
I agree with a lot of that assessment, except for the attack on Tony Coelho. Thank you. Why? Rahm Emanuel starts the case. He is one tough customer. He'll get the stuff done.
I think what he's going to do is the same thing that brought him to victory in the first place. Expand the map, expand the policy map, go into places that people don't expect him to go into, and then have a much broader way to sort of get from here to there. People who are expecting him to just follow a traditional path of introducing some cautious legislation, I think they're going to be very surprised and outmaneuvered.
All right. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Up next, an emotional Colin Powell praising Senator Obama as a president for all Americans. We'll have more of what the former Secretary of State said. And organized labor giving big donations to Democrats during this campaign, making big contributions to the outcome. What will be the payback? We'll have a special report and more. Stay with us.
Wrestling around with an ironing board and a big bulky iron? What if you could put the power of your dry cleaner right in the palm of your hand? Hi, Billy Mays here for the Steam Buddy. The fastest, easiest, and safest way to remove wrinkles from all your clothing, guaranteed. Steam press a shirt right on the hanger. Tackle tough denim lightning fast in just one pass. Ordinary irons are dangerous and heavy. The Steam Buddy is lightweight, heats up in seconds, and not only removes wrinkles, but odors too. Wore it once, use the power of steam to refresh and deodorize and save you money. De-wrinkle that rayon blouse in seconds. Rejuvenate a suit jacket that you'd normally dry clean. The secret's the on-demand steaming element that puts the power of this professional unit right in the palm of your hand. It instantly generates a controlled burst of superheated steam, giving you powerful professional results every time. Stop burning and melting and start steaming. Use it on sequins, rhinestones, beads, even printed material is easy to press. Don't let buttons and pockets slow you down when you could glide right over them with the Steam Buddy. Tough enough for linen, safe enough for silk. And it's not just for clothes. Steam shears and curtains, tablecloths, sheets, and bedding. It's safer for you and your clothes. Professional steamers can cost hundreds of dollars. Call now and you'll get the original Steam Buddy for only $19.95. I'm so confident you'll love the Steam Buddy. Try it risk-free for 30 days or your money back. We'll also include the fabric brush free. Use it on velvet, velour. Breathe life back into doll fabric. Order right now and we'll send you our professional creaser. It puts a razor-sharp crease into all types of fabric and gives you that tailored look. You get it all. The Steam Buddy, the fabric brush, and the professional creaser. An $80 value for only $19.95. Here's how to order.
To order your Steam Buddy, call 1-800-245-4077. That's 1-800-245-4077. Don't delay. Call now.
Hi, Patsy here again. Did you know that kids take drugs right out of your medicine cabinet? Which is why I've taken all the labels off our prescriptions.
Honey, are these your prescription hormone pills or mine?
You have the orange one. I'm sorry.
Don't be a patsy. Learn a better way at drugfree.org.
I know where. Here, these are. No. Ooh, those are bad. Let me see these.
Organized labor dominating the list of top contributors to the Democratic candidates in this election. A staggering 90% of labor union donations going to Democrats. Just one example of powerful special interest groups buying influence with the Democrats as they are expanding their power in Washington. Bill Tucker has our report.
Groups like the Swiftboat Veterans for Truth and Move On played much less of a role in this year's presidential elections. The Center for Responsive Politics reports that the political ads by special interest groups outside of the campaigns, known as 527s, spent about $200 million this year compared to $442 million in 2004.
Both candidates, McCain and Obama, signaled very clearly that they didn't want the outside groups to play in 2008. And for a time, at least, I think the outside groups took that seriously.
It's not that money wasn't spent on advertising. The Campaign Media Analysis Group, which tracks political advertising, estimates that about $750 million was spent on the presidential campaign alone, and that very little of that was 527 money.
To use the cooking analogy, in 2004, the 527s were an ingredient. In 2008, they were a spice, and I think in many cases, it was added too late to really impact the dish.
Then there was labor. Roughly $100 million was spent by labor PACs and their 527s. That is less than 2004, but
their main contribution is the mobilization of the people who are in the unions, who are friends to unions. 2004 was a terrific mobilization by labor. This year was equal or greater.
Overwhelmingly, labor's dollars and efforts went to the Democrats. Of the top 20 PACs contributing to the Democrats, 18 were labor PACs, according to the Center for Responsive Politics.
And it is a classic labor versus capital split that appears to have made the National Chamber of Commerce maybe a little bit nervous. The group, which spent $30 million to defeat Obama, put out a statement today saying, Lou, they welcome the new administration and they want better relations with the Democrats.
So the Chamber of Commerce is being ecumenical now.
They are, indeed.
Absolutely. Well, it's amazing how victory works. And labor trying to be a countervailing influence to all of that capital being spent by corporate America. Maybe there is a little shift going on here that would be perhaps beneficial to the economy and working men and women. Although I know the Chamber of Commerce would like to take primacy in that effort, of course.
But they want better relations while they do it.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Bill Tucker, thank you very much. Up next at the top of the hour, Campbell Brown, no bias, no bull. Campbell, tell us all about it.
Well, Lou, we're going to be taking a look at the last 24 hours, how Barack Obama won this election, also what the challenges he faces just 76 days from now as he's sworn in, of course, as the 44th president of the United States. We're also going to look at his top promises to you. We offer you our no bias, no bull pledge to keep the new administration accountable. We're also going to spend some time looking at the full range of emotions last night. A lot of people saying that years from now, you will be asking yourself, where were you the night Barack Obama became the first African-American elected president? That kind of moment. Plus, is America a great country or what? Even a convicted felon can be reelected to the Senate of the United States. We're going to talk about Alaska, what's happening there. A race still too close to call. We shall see how it turns out. We'll see you in a few minutes, Lou.
All right. And convicted comedian as well in the battle tonight. So.
You're right. That one too close also.
All right. Thanks very much, Campbell. Former Secretary of State Colin Powell today praising Barack Obama as the president for all Americans. Powell, a Republican, endorsed Senator Obama's bid for the presidency last month. Powell was in Hong Kong as the election unfolded, telling CNN's Hugh Remington that Obama wanted to reach across racial, cultural, and religious lines in America.
He wanted to be a transformational figure, to bridge the gap between generations, and I think that's what allowed him to win this election. So we're very, very proud to have a new American president who also happens to be an African American. And as I watched finally, one of the newscasters cut to the chase and said, he's won, it's over. Pretty moving moment.
There was a tear.
Everybody cried.
Well, the former Secretary of State also saying he's not looking for a position in the Obama cabinet. And the man who many people, including me, believes, you know, I think he could have been president back in 1996 that he tried to be. That would have been historic in its own right, of course. Up next, Senator Obama celebrating his victory and immediately focusing on the transition. We'll find out who's on the short list for Senator Obama's cabinet and his White House staff. I keep saying Senator Obama. I better get used to this. The president-elect staff. What's next for Governor Palin? We'll talk with three of the best and brightest political analysts again. Stay with us for all of that and more. We'll be right back.
Confidence. It comes from putting something in place, investing for tomorrow, while helping protect what I have today. One is playing offense, the other defense. In times like these, I'm glad I'm playing both.
One of the most admired companies, one of the world's most ethical companies, highest tier of service in financial services, The Hartford, trusted since 1810.
Conquered the skies. Conquered Mount Everest. Conquered the moon. Conquered the neck. Phillips Norelco Architect, designed with a flexible head, which allows it to pivot and rotate freely. So now you can easily get a close shave, even on the neck.
D.L. Hughley's new show really breaks the news.
Do any of you plan on watching D.L. Hughley Breaks the News next week?
D.L. Hughley Breaks the News. CNN Saturday night, 10 Eastern.
Prudential, at your service. Saving is important. And at Prudential Savings Bank, we offer you some of the highest rates around on all of our products. We have certificate terms as short as 91 days or as long as 5 years. And most only require $500 to open. Even our checking account earns interest. Visit PrudentialSavingsBank.com for all current rate information. With our knowledgeable staff and great rates, you'll see why. It pays to bank with Prudential.
Now pay attention. 2 machine guns fixed.
Revolving number plates. Titanium armor.
Sting this. Hydrochloric acid.
Sonic agitator unit.
X-ray scanner. An ordinary tin of talcum powder. Smoke screen.
A fingerprint scanner.
Heat-seeking.
Homing device.
Pen.
Underwater camera.
Telescopic sight.
GPS tracking system.
A Geiger counter. You got it?
Yes, I think so.
From all 21 Bond films to sports to concerts and hit shows, only Comcast gives you over 1,000 HD choices. Comcast. No one gives you more HD.
Raw, honest reporting. Anderson Cooper 360. CNN Tonight, 10 Eastern.
Well, joining me again, Ed Rollins, Michael Goodwin, and Robert Zimmerman. The turnout, it turns out not to have been quite what we thought it was yesterday. 120 million people, at least with the count as of now, voting. 45 million of those voting early, which is just a staggering number of folks, early and absentee. A margin of 7.5 million. But we only have to go back to 1996. Bill Clinton won by a margin in 1996 of over 8 million. You go back to 1984, and that's sort of impressive. Almost 17 million. Ronald Reagan over Walter Mondale.
That was a good election.
It's what?
That was a good election. I like that one better than yesterday's.
Well, you seem to have brought a lot to that bear hunt.
I lost Minnesota for Reagan. He won 49 states.
And you're still contesting that vote.
I am. The only word of caution is sometimes these absentee ballots, which are gigantic numbers, take days to count. It's not like they all get counted. So having lived with this kind of stuff, there may be another 4 or 5 million votes out there somewhere that get added to this pile.
And to put
I'm sorry, Michael.
Well, I was just going to say that right now, with the votes we do have counted, really is roughly the same number who voted 4 years ago in the Bush-Kerry race.
Right.
At that time, about 120 million, and that was a record of number of votes. I think what's changed, of course, this time is the composition of the voters. Probably a lot of Republicans who were not enamored of McCain, the evangelical vote, but the younger people.
What happened to the evangelical vote this year?
I'll tell you what happened to it. John McCain paid absolutely no attention to it. I had people say to me, I'm going to vote for him because he's the lesser of two evil. I'm not going to put a McCain bumper sticker on. He never went to that group. March 15th, when he won this primary, he never went to that group. He started reaching for independents who don't make up their mind until there's two choices. And they didn't think he really believed in their cause until he named Palin.
I think also, in addition to that, and so many.
I should say, interrupt very quickly, independents did break for McCain here, though, in those final few days. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I think, in following up on Ed's point, I think what's also interesting to know is so many research surveys show that the evangelical vote was also motivated by different issues this time. They were being impacted certainly by the environmental movement. It was galvanizing them, the healthcare crisis, the economy, and that drove, I think we'll see a more significant vote from the evangelicals for Democrats.
Just a quick statistic in terms of exit polling, what it showed us. In 2004, Kerry Bush, most responding to what was motivating them in that election, 22% morality, moral values. This year, 62% saying an economy. We'll be back with our panel in one moment. We'll be right back.
Me? I'm fast. That's why I use the BlackBerry Bold with AT&T 3G speed. I can surf the internet fast, download attachments fast, and send them to my colleagues fast. Excuse me for a sec. It's good to be fast.
Only AT&T has the new BlackBerry Bold, the fastest BlackBerry ever. Only on the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T.
I went to Ancestry.com, but I thought, I'm not going to make it very far. I knew my parents and my grandparents, and then it happened. I got a leaf. When I clicked on it, I could actually see my grandfather's draft card from World War I and his U.S. Census from 1910, and another member's tree that had my great-grandparents and their parents and everything. And it all started with my first leaf.
Discover your story today with a free trial at Ancestry.com.
Buy a suit, get one for free at Joseph A. Bank. That's any suit. Buy one and your second is free. All dress pants. Buy one, get one free. Even executive dress shirts. Buy one, get one for free. Plus, an extra bonus. Corduroy blazers, $79. Right now, buy a suit and your second is free. Only at Joseph A. Bank.
So, April. Yeah? You know your charger's still using energy when it's plugged into the wall, right?
Yeah, but that's not my charger. I don't even have a cell phone.
Millions of kids are using their energy wisely. What's your excuse?
We're back with our panel. I want to turn first to Robert Zimmerman. Do you believe that, first, the president-elect wants to govern from the center? Do you believe he would be allowed to if that indeed is his desire?
First of all, when a president wins this kind of mandate as he has won, he will set the agenda for at least the first 6 months. He'll set the table. I believe not only does he want to govern from the center, I think strategically he has to keep the Democrats together behind him and to keep the popular support behind him. And I think also we're going to see the notion of liberal and conservative, those old paradigms disappear from the political dialogue today. They're not relevant.
They've just disappeared. Robert basically is taking the most liberal member of the Senate, saying he's going to be a centrist. So it's disappeared.
and by the way, let's also remember this candidate this liberal member from the Senate ran and was able to get support from a broad cross-section of the electorate because he campaigned on mainstream issues.
That cross-section of the electorate, including, importantly, young voters and Latino voters as well.
2-1 for Obama in both of those groups. I mean, that's the future of American politics right there, and that's the problem for Republicans. I would also say, though, Lou, too quickly, the notion of historically, everyone says this is a center-right country. In this election, it was not a center-right country. It was a center-left country, thanks to those young voters and those Latino voters and to young black voters who came out for Obama.
And Rollins, you get the last word here today.
I just think the Republican Party's got a long ways to come back out of the wilderness, and I've been with them in the wilderness before. I just don't think the energy is there or the brains are there to find an alternative. They may have to change their brand name, shoot the elephant, find a whole new drill to basically come forward again.
So maybe along with Robert Zimmerman's suggestion that liberal and conservative is no longer part of the paradigm, you're suggesting the Republican Party may not be either?
I think they have to rethink who they are. I mean, they're going through this drill of did the moderates lose it, did the conservatives lose it? And the truth of the matter is they don't know who lost it. They lost it themselves, as you said earlier.
It's part of the Bush legacy.
It's definitely the Bush legacy. Yeah. Karl Rove wanted to realign the country. He did. Unfortunately, it's the realignment is the Democrats.
Yeah. A Karl Rove Bush legacy, I guess. Then. All right. Thank you very much, Robert Zimmerman, Michael Goodwin, Ed Rollins. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
And thank you for being with us tonight. We ask you to be here tomorrow. Please join me as well on the radio Monday through Fridays for the Lou Dobbs Show. Go to LouDobbsRadio.com to get your local listings for the Lou Dobbs Show. And for all of us here, we thank you for watching. It's been a spectacular, historic occasion. Good night from New York. Campbell Brown, No Bias, No Bull starts right now. Campbell.
Thanks, Lou.